In this video, we want to talk about making selections. There are multiple ways you can do that. We've already learned how to use the rectangular and elliptical marquee tool. You just select it, draw in your area, and you have essentially selected what's inside of it. If you want to select what's outside of it, you select inverse, and it allows you to select what's outside of it. Okay, that one's a very basic, simple way to select objects or select parts of an image. The next one down here is your lasso tool. Most people go straight for the polygonal lasso tool or the magnetic lasso tool. You get that by pulling out the corner of the lasso, which is the third icon down. So I'm just going to go ahead and select polygonal lasso tool. The magnetic is sort of like an auto, and it selects what it thinks you want it to select. I prefer to use the polygonal, sorry, because it allows me to select exactly what I want without the computer making decisions for me. And then I can just snap to the area that I want like that. Close it by snapping where I started. And I've now selected exactly what I want to select. And when it's straight like that, it's pretty easy to make selections, right? I'm not doing anything. It gets a lot harder when you want to select something like this. Say I want to select that telephone pole. Whole lot harder, right? Okay, so you can take the time, zoom really close in, and painstakingly go around and select the outline of that. Okay, hardest thing to do in Photoshop, in my opinion, is that. It requires a lot of patience. There are some new tools that help you. Quick selection tool and magic wand tool. The magic wand tool, for instance, I come down here and I select this. Selects it for me. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I know I want that one solid plane, and I can just come in here and it'll select it. Now, it gets harder as I have more that I want to select. Selected that part of the sky. I hold down the Shift key, and it will add to my selection. You have a control up here too, tolerancing. The tolerancing is the default 32. The lower the number, the more sensitive it is, the less it selects. The higher the number, the less sensitive, the more it selects. So that requires a lot of practice and patience to get good with it. It's just not easy. What a lot of people like, and then I'm going to hold my Control D to get rid of my marching ants, is the quick selection tool. On the ribbon, you have add and subtract. And you can control the brush size right here. I'm going to pull that down, and I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger. Okay, so now when I've clicked this, I've added this, I've clicked this, and I can keep adding, and it makes it a little bit easier to add to my selection set just by clicking. Now, if you get more than you want, so you overclick, hit the minus, and then slowly start to erase out the pieces you don't want. Okay, and then it selected it. So now that I've selected the sky here, I can select inverse, and I now have, well, actually it's got more than I need here. Oh, it selected the building too. I can just remove the building. You see I'm just going around and telling it get rid of all that. And now it has selected, yeah. It's also selected this part of it. And now I just have the area that I want. So if I go and I create a mask, oops, meant to hit the mask. You see it's removed everything else. And then I can go in here and refine this mask further by selecting more. Let's add to my set. And then using my brush on that layer mask to get rid of these other parts. And I just keep going with it. But that selection tool helps you clean up very quickly these parts and pieces. Now you have some settings. If you right click on the mask, select in mask or mask options. Right, so okay, we're good there. Select in mask. And it will give you more properties to work with. You can adjust the transparency of what you're masking so you can see what's being selected. You can increase your edge detection. Smart radius really helps select. You can make adjustments. Feather softens your selection. You can shift the edge. Say you've selected something but you want it to select one more row of pixels inside, you can shift your edge right here and it will allow you to do that. It will move that edge for you. You can invert, and when you say OK, oh, I didn't really do much anything, it will make those adjustments for you. So you just get that by right clicking on that mask and going to select and mask, and it gives you your options. You can change how you see this. This is the view. And that's showing me what's going away so I can see what's left. And that is just basic masking.